Good morning to all my coffee drinkers and tumbler users. It's our Mike, and today we are checking out a coffee from SteamBoat Coffee Roasteries. Now this is up in Steamboat Springs, which is here in Colorado. The roastery is up there where they actually import the beans and they do all the roasting. They make their bags. They put their labels on it here. Nothing else to it really. That's pretty much it. But obviously down here at the bottom it says these are from Sumatran, which is probably a rainforest out in Sumatran, or possibly a farm that's in that area from the Sumatran Mexican Chiapas, which would be for mountains, so mountain range, or an area that has rich soils and good area to grow. So they may have set up a farm out there for producing beans, or what would be our cherries at the time. But yeah, Rainforest Alliance, Colorado emblem. Obviously we have our fair trade here, fair trade coffee certification, and USDA organic. So like it says, steamboatcoffee.com, and then that's the phone number if you guys need to contact them. But yeah, this was given to me as a gift, and I had not gotten into it yet because you all know how I am. I like to finish my Black Rifle coffees first and then get into specialty coffees after that. So let's go ahead and check out what we have inside our bag here. And is there a seal to it? That's popping out. Yes, it is sealed. Yeah, we can make it out right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut just a corner here. All right, we have our corner cut. Let's go ahead and lock that off. That way that is out of the way, so we can peer into our bag here, so we're not breaking our whole seal. Oh wow, it goes way back there. There we go. Yeah, I'm not that lump off this little section here. And now we can peer in there. Oh yeah, these are definitely some, like it says, this is supposed to be kind of a more in between the medium and dark range. Yeah, these puppies definitely look like they got some darkness. Let's go ahead and measure them out. Alright, it's a little much. About 81 grams. There we go. Now down to 80 grams of beans that we will now go on ahead and put into the grinder. We're going to grind these to more of a medium grind, even though I'm doing this in a French press this time. Alright, so before I hit our button and start grinding these suckers, Steamboat Springs is northwest of me. Actually, I know exactly where it is this time, but yeah, northwest of me. It's almost a 4-hour drive to get there, so definitely quite a ways up into the mountainside from my location. All right, so our grind is all done, all set. Let's go on ahead and pour everything into our right press here. So it gives you an idea of how our grind is looking. Let's go on ahead and do a zoom in. But that way you guys can see, quite consistent. That's good. This is, like I said, this is more of a medium grind, close to a medium grind. On the bottom setting, we're 5 settings in from what would be your coarsest grind for a pour over, or the French press, I should say. So let's go ahead and dump the sucker. Get all that in there. Got almost everything out, which is good. And let's move over to the kettles. All right, so I got our 2 kettles going. Grounds are all in and ready. This first one has probably boiled down quite a bit when it comes to the water. We're obviously a little over the 200 mark on temperature. Right, 200 would be pretty much ideal for doing your coffee. But we will go on ahead and fill this about halfway. We're going to let it sit for a minute. Let as much move up to the top as possible. And we will go on ahead and put in the rest after it sits for a minute and let everything steep. You can see how everything's starting to rise up already. So we'll let it do its thing. Alright, so I know after we've let it bloom, some people say to go on ahead and scoop off your excess, take off kind of the crust level to it, but like I said, we're not done yet. We're going to bring it up to this line, maybe a little higher, just because I want to get good enough couple cups for myself and my wife. And for cups, I mean tumblers for us. So for me, it's about a 3-cup. I drink about a little over 3 cups out of a tumbler. My wife does 10 to 12 ounces of coffee, and then she dilutes hers with water. Let's go on ahead and give this a stir now. Since I'm using a metal tumbler or a metal insulated press, we're going to use a plastic spoon that has been washed and reused many times. So hopefully we're not putting too much any taste or anything of plastic into this, but obviously my spoon starts to hold the grounds and stuff pretty well because it's not coated anymore like it used to be, since it gets washed quite a bit. So give it a good stir. I'm going ahead and rinse this off as we pour it out. And that is about where we will stop when it comes to the coffee. And now we'll go on ahead and put our tumbler on this, or not our tumbler, I keep saying tumbler. We'll put our press piece on this. Alright, so I have my right press kind of disassembled so you guys can see how this looks now. Normally this stuff shouldn't come apart like this, but being that this is one of 2 of the models I have, one of the versions I have, obviously this one had a manufactured defect, so to say. But as you push down just a little bit, you can see how we are pushing all our grinds down, and then we're going to put the rest of our post on. We'll put our lid on, make sure that seals good. We're going to push down a little bit. And we're going to let that steep, and we will actually use our minute hourglass here that comes with the press. And we will wait and come back and finish it off. Alright, so besides our 3-minute timer here in our hourglass, I had let the coffee probably steep a minute longer than it needed to, just because we had filled it about halfway and then went ahead and let that steep a little and bloom properly. And now that our submerged grounds have been in there long enough, we'll go on ahead and push everything down. Now obviously pushing everything down is going to cause a lot of the sediment and other things to probably circulate. So I mean, you could let it sit another minute afterwards if you want to, but I'm going to go on ahead and pour straight onto my wife's ice in her cup. Try to get us a little more centered here. So yes, quite a bit. You can see we definitely have some sediment and a few things floating around, and part of that is just because our pour over or our press methods don't have, most of them are just a mesh screen. And with that mesh screen, we have no paper filter, so nothing to get keep the sediment at bay down below. And obviously with the mesh, we get more oils, we get a few more characteristics coming from our coffee, maybe a more acidity, stronger acidity coffee. And then I'm going to dump the water here from this, just because, like I say, I always like to preheat a tumbler if you plan to keep your coffee in it for a while. We'll do our pour on this. So both these cups should come out pretty even. Obviously, like I said, with ice in my wife's cup, she's got about 10 to 12 ounces of coffee. And then I basically take the rest of this liter container. Yeah, there was some sediment right there at the bottom. So that'll be it for that. As for our look, definitely you can definitely see those oils. That's for sure. See how our taste is, just straight. Alright, so it's not a bland taste to it, but I'm going to take a few more sips. Okay, so it's definitely on the heavier side, but there is the nuttiness to it that I can start to pull from it. If you all like the video, please hit the like button. comment, subscribe. This is our Mike. I'll chat with you all in the next one.